Okay, so we're here today at Sloan Implement, and we're going to do a brief walk around and kind of talk about some of the new features of the new John Deere 8RX 8000 series tractors. And first couple things I want to kind of notice is the styling is a little bit different, and there is a new nomenclature on the hood. So if it's an 8R or an 8RX, that's going to be the first line in the model number. And then you're going to have the horsepower of the engine will be over here on the hood second. It'll say 370 or 410 or whatever horsepower range you've got on your tractor. So it is a little bit different. We used to have 8400R. Well, now it's 8R 370 or 8RX 370. So the numbering is just slightly different. So if you're doing a search or something on our website, you may want to search for 8R and then search for the horsepower in the model number. One of the main new features that they've got on these machines that's kind of really cool is they've got a camera in the front of the hood, in the nose of the hood, and that camera is going to allow you to be able to actually see the front weights. They stick out there quite a ways, and sometimes that can be in tight quarters in a shed or in some cases like that. That new camera is really going to make it easier to kind of navigate your way around. There's also one on the rear of the cab. So that's going to help you backing up, hooking up, those kinds of things, hooking up to a planter or an implement. That rear camera is going to allow you to see what's behind your machine as well. So 2 new cameras are optional on the new 8Rs for sure. This is an 8RX, so it has tracks on the front and the rear. The 370 is the highest horsepower machine that you can get in IVT. If you opt for the 410, you're going to get the E23. The E23 is available in just about every model for an optional transmission. I had a lot of great luck with that E23. It shifts really smooth. If you've had an IVT, I wouldn't be afraid of that E23. You're going to be more efficient with it than what you are in IVT, just because you have a gear-on-gear type transmission versus an IVT or hydro type transmission. So the E23 is optional on pretty much any horsepower model in the 8R line. So on the front, we're going to have the 18-inch track, and then on the rear, you can get 18-inch tracks. We usually opt for a 24-inch track as well. What that's going to allow you to do is that's going to allow you to maintain a normal travel speed down the road. If you go with an 18-inch track on the rear, you may have some limitations about what you can do for ground speed depending on how much weight you have on that rear track. So that's something to consider when you're looking at an 8RX. Is your track size, and again, we recommend the 24 on the rear and then of course the 18 on the front. If we kind of swing on around the back here, we'll look at some of not a whole lot of changes back here. The SCV stack, your ISO connector on the new models is a little bit different. They have upgraded the latch on it, so that is slightly different. But from a standpoint of, big changes back here, there's not a whole lot really, so it's going to be very familiar with you. Not going to be a whole lot of challenges or training curves for that matter. Up there on the bottom of the cab, right underneath the roof, right there at the top of the window, that's where that camera is going to be mounted. It's angled down so you can see your drawbar, and again, it makes those hookups much simpler and much easier. So again, the outside of the 8RX, they've made a lot of styling changes. LED lights all the way around are for sure going to be there, so you're going to have a lot longer life out of your bulbs. Going to be a brighter and better visibility with those lights. And again, some of the things that we've talked about with the changes on the outside of the 8R. So now we're up in the new cab on the new 8R series, and first thing you'll probably notice is the new touchscreen style radio. So it's got a lot of the same features that you had in your old radio, only it's going to be a touchscreen. So you can Bluetooth your phone to it. You can use the Bluetooth for talking to people or Bluetooth for your music if that's what you want to do. But it is a touchscreen, and it's a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive to operate. So one of the other changes that they've added is a lot of extra storage. So we've got a storage compartment up here. There's a lot of storage behind the seat. There's an extra storage compartment up here in the roof for manuals or some folders. If you're got field maps or those kinds of things with you, they've added a lot of nice storage as well. The new seats, again, optional. You have heated seats and cooled seats. You have electrically operated seats fore and aft, and it also has a massage feature. So you can turn the massager on. There's a high and a low along with the heated and cooled seat. So very nice seat, optional on the new 8Rs. Another nice thing is for those long hot days, over here behind the buddy seat, we've got a cooler. And much like the S-Series combines I've had for a while, we now have a little bit bigger cooler that we can store our food and our beverages in for those long days in the field. So very nice feature, and works really nice, works really well. One other thing I want to talk about is the integrated Starfire 6000. So the new 8Rs and 8RXs have an integrated Starfire 6000. So if you purchase a tractor, you can purchase it with SF1 all the way up to RTK, and it's fully integrated into the tractor. So that way you don't have to worry about swapping receivers, having the right bracket, all those kinds of things. The other thing that that's going to do, it's going to eliminate the need for a TCM calibration. So it's calibrated from the factory, and unless for some reason it has to be replaced, you don't have to do a TCM cal. So it's going to save you some time and going to save you some effort out there in the field. One good thing is the armrest is very similar to what we've had since the 2014 when the Gen 4 was first installed in the 8Rs. And so the operating of the tractor and all those features are going to be very, very familiar, so you're not going to have, again, a steep learning curve to try to get over. They have added a 110 outlet, so if you've got a laptop or something, there's some 110 outlets in here for electrical power, and so that's going to be a really nice, convenient thing. One other thing that's been very much requested that they've had in the combines for a while is on the floor. I've got the foot pegs. So as, again, those long days in the field, I can stretch my legs, put my feet up on the foot pegs, and enjoy some a little bit more comfort. But that's kind of a brief overview of the 8RX and the 8Rs that are new for this year. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact Sloan Implement or visit www.sloans.com. Thanks, and have a great day.